I am Anna McNuff and I am an adventurer, an author and a full-time mischief maker. I grew up in a household where both of my parents are Olympians, and every weekend was just up, out the house and doing every kind of sport under the sun. And I must have tried about 40 different sports as I was growing up. And for a while I was in the Great Britain rowing teams, but it was in my 20s when I decided that I didn't think being an Olympian was actually quite the right path for me. I had this huge wanderlust for seeing the world, and I had all that sporting background of learning how to destroy my body and a love of pain. And I thought, great, let's put these two things together. Let's go run, swim, cycle around the world and see what happens. And that's where it all began. I have cycled a beautiful pink bicycle through every single state of America. I have spent 6 months cycling along the spine of the Andes Mountains in South America, run the length of New Zealand and run the length of Britain in my bare feet. It sounds crazy when I say it. I'm like, oh yeah, I did all these things. With every adventure, it gave me something different and I grew in a different way and I surprised myself in a different way. But definitely the most recent one, which is where I set off from the Shetland Islands and I tried to run the distance of 100 marathons to London without any shoes on. It was just out of curiosity. I just thought, is that possible to go and do a long distance run without any shoes on? And of course the first answer that my head said to me was absolutely not, that's ridiculous, you can't do that. And then I just thought, well, can I put my hand on my heart and say it's not possible if I haven't actually tried? So that was it. I went for it, I tried. I didn't make 100 marathons in the end. I made 2,300 miles, but I feel like that's all right. I shot for the stars and landed on the moon. Doing a barefoot run that's that long was just the hardest thing I've ever done, and it continually pushed me. But also there were so many logistics involved in that adventure. It wasn't just about the run. I was trying to talk to young women all the way along and trying to encourage them to adventure, and slotting all of those pieces into place while trying to run 20 plus miles a day with no shoes on was just the most ambitious, crazy thing I've ever done. And it resulted in the most amazing, memorable journey that I will just take to my grave, but it was so, so hard. If there are voices saying to you, this isn't possible and you can't do that, that's for other people, then you have to challenge those beliefs effectively, because they're not facts, they're just an opinion. It's a story we tell ourselves. And certainly when I did the run through New Zealand, the thought I had was, I'm not a runner. These running adventures are for other people. You know, the ones that are on the front of the running magazines with the abs and the swishy ponytail. And I just thought, I don't look like that when I run. I run like, you know, a sweaty, kind of slow, lollopy thing. So there's definitely always a lot of self-doubt. And the thing is, you get over that first hurdle and you're on your way and you think, great, this is it, here we go. But you're constantly doing battle with those voices that want to tell you. You see that thing that just happened there, i.e. you fell over and you hurt your ankle and you're in the middle of nowhere and you've got no phone signal. That wouldn't have happened to someone else, you know, that's your fault. And you're constantly having to override that and say, no, I know what I'm doing. If I can just keep going, I will make it. It is a roller coaster and a constant battle, but the more I go on, the more I learn to see the things like self-doubt as more of a companion. You kind of have to just sit with it and be with it and just say, you know, all right, fear, hello, self-doubt, how are you doing today? Oh, right, you've got some opinions for me, have you? Great, here we go. I'm going to do it anyway, but, you know, thanks for your input. When I went to ride the bike through the 50 states, there were so many reasons why I shouldn't go, and they were logistical, practical reasons, like I had a good job, I had a mortgage, I had responsibilities. And I would say that it really helped to write all of the reasons why I shouldn't go. And then in a blank column next to it, well, what are the things I could do, even if they're ridiculous, to combat that? And in seeing them down in black and white, and you start to realise actually there are things that you can do. It's not to say that you will be willing to do them all, and it does become a possibility, but it at least makes you feel like you have a choice and that you're not trapped. There is so much more in each of us than we realise, and in order to find that amazing confidence, that feeling of self-reliance, you have to put yourself in vulnerable situations. You have to go beyond what you think you're capable of and what you're comfortable with. And only then at that point where you think, what am I doing? How did I get here? Will you suddenly just find that you are so much stronger than you realise, and that is just the most amazing feeling, because you then bring that back to normal life and you think, my emails are crashing, this is not a problem, the problem is being up a mountain and I've run out of water and I've got no food for the next few days and I'm 4 days from the town. I think it just allows you to stretch your perspective and your horizons so that when you come back to everyday life, you're able to to look at it a bit more calmly and have that sense of inner confidence that no one can take away from you. Travel is never stopping learning about the world or being excited by how wonderful it is.